Hello, welcome to Breakaway with Dawn and Friends. Today I have Miss Kimberly. She is with Support TK My Way. She has a GoFundMe page and it is unlocking the potential in every child. So she is a special guest that I have today that I would love to empower, encourage, and promote her special cause. Hi, Kimberly.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you for being here and sharing with us your dream.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes. I my friend asked me to highlight Miss Kimberly because she's so sweet and she thinks I'm worldwide, and I am, by the way. So I am asking all of my supporters and listeners to help her. Sharing is caring. We really want to get this message out there. We really are hoping for support so that Miss Kimberly can reach children that possibly may not qualify, or parents that don't know all of the available resources. So it is a nonprofit. So I'm gonna let Kimberly take over and tell us first, what does Support TK My Way mean, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, thank you. Supporting TK My Way is basically supporting the children that do need help. And that just doesn't mean children on the spectrum, because lots of times you can't get services unless you have a diagnosis. For example, from the regional center, you won't be able, even if you have a child that might be showing signs of ADHD, ODD, or even signs of autism, unless you get a diagnosis and all the red tape that's there that you have to go through, you don't get the help. Or if you do get the help, it's a long process. So what I created TK My Way is basically to reach out for those children who don't have a diagnosis. And I'm just really looking at the behavior and helping the parents through the process.
I love that. And tell me again, what does TK stand for?
It stands for transitional knowledge. So when I came up with it, I was basically thinking, I'm transitioning my knowledge that I have to the parents. So in turn, they can change their response to their children so that they can help them in any way that they need
I
them.
love that because I can imagine it can be very overwhelming not getting the support or understanding what you're going through.
Absolutely.
So, can you share like maybe things that get missed, even whether it's by the doctors or even the parents, like they are having difficulties and then maybe they just think, oh, it's a phase, or they're just acting out. Like, what are things that parents can look out for that they can help them maybe dig a little deeper?
Definitely. The thing is a lot of children who have executive functioning deficits, they kind of fall through the cracks because they're the kids that get through school, maybe not socially that extroverted, but they are very shy and they have a hard time processing language or processing information, or even executive functioning, meaning like doing something, getting up and actually having the motivation to do it, because sometimes I don't know if this is well known, but I have ADHD and I'm self-diagnosed. But what I do is I need somebody as a double, which means someone just sitting with me will help me get to my end result that I need. They don't necessarily have to do anything, but them being there as support helps me. So I think a lot of kids do need that. And I'm not saying to be there for your kids in regards to not having them be independent. I definitely think pulling back those prompts, but just being there as a presence, knowing that they're supported. And that's something that a lot of kids, if they're not diagnosed with autism specifically, they don't get those services. So I don't think you have to have a diagnosis to help on any behavior that you have, whether it be the child or the parent, because a lot of parents are in denial.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like it's a reflection upon them
Mm-hmm.
because their child, maybe behaves in a certain way. But lots of parents don't realize that, if they change their response to the situation, it's going to change the child's response. It's inevitable. There's
That's
there's no
true.
way around it.
I love that. Just had to take a minute to take that in because that
I
was
know I
so
talk really fast. I apologize,
no,
but
like
I'm very
I love
passionate.
that. Yes. I also like to like encourage and empower the listeners, right? So what I know that just from the little bit that I know from things that I read or see, structure and routine is very important for your children, right? So,
Absolutely.
do you want to like maybe speak a little bit about that? Because, like you said, some are in denial,
Mhm.
or maybe they don't have the courage to get the help, right? Because, like you said, they don't give themselves grace and they hold themselves, they have that guilt, right? So, can you speak a little bit on like little things that you can do at the home that might help?
Oh,
And then
definitely.
maybe this will encourage them to seek more help.
Absolutely. Even how you touched on having that routine and schedule. And the thing is you can have it for your child and expect your child to go ahead and do it. But if you don't do it for yourself, if you don't show that you have a schedule, that this is what we're doing and things like that, what it comes down to is behaviors learned. So your children are watching you, and they're going to follow your lead. So that's kind of when you think of discipline, it's basically following your lead. It's not punishment. And I think that's what gets misconstrued when you have those two terms. They're not interchangeable.
This, you guys. So, but what about diet? Because I do know, right, that has an impact.
Oh, absolutely. I have a lot of children that are very picky eaters. But if you get them involved in the process, I have, a degree in applied behavioral analysis. And what that is you're changing the environment to change the behavior in simple terms. And when you change an environment, it could be a person, it could be an object, it can be an activity. So when you get the child involved in cooking, that can definitely impact
Mm.
if they're going to eat it or not, because they were involved in the process. It's not just put
Mhm.
in front of you. And it kind of gives your child that illusion of control. And I think that's what it comes down to a lot with these picky eaters, is they feel like they're not in control and they just have to eat what's in front of them. So presentation is everything when you give children food, and how you respond to the food as well. Again, behavior is learned. So if you want the child to eat healthier, well, guess what? You're going to have to take that step and do that for yourself, because your children are watching.
Yes, and I also think it's very important too. You have to meet them where they are, right? So I think a lot of times, we have these expectations on our kids. We're projecting a bit, right? And we don't realize that. And then we
Absolutely.
have these expectations, and we don't remember that they don't understand that they're not there yet. So you have to break it down and bring it down to their level, right? And I say
Yes.
that for like when you're frustrated in a situation with your child and you're trying to get them to do something that they don't want to do or whatever, like you got to meet them where they are too to get that progress.
Absolutely. Yeah, lots of times parents are, explaining to their children of why to do this. And all you're doing is creating attention for that behavior to continue, continue, continue.
Exactly.
And when you realize that cognitively right now, like usually with young children, they cannot reason. You're expecting them to have logic, but they don't. So you really have to meet them where they are in that respect as well. And even when it comes down to things that we might think are easy, and that why aren't my children doing it, rather it be, going to a class that, that the parents have paid for, and they won't go because there's something in that environment, or there's something that, mentally they're going through that's making it hard to even, get out the door to get to that activity. And so, you have to dive deeper to find out the function of the behavior, rather than just kind of, seeing as, your perception, because everyone's perception is different. So you have to find out where your child is perceiving, this challenge.
I love that. So, you do have a GoFundMe page that was set up, right, to raise money. And do you
Yes.
want to let us know a little more about this, like what you would like to do with this?
Yeah, absolutely. The end result is to actually have a ranch style facility. And what I mean by that is it's in the natural environment. I'm not going to lie, the school system is broken, and instead of fixing it, let's create a new one. So actually having a natural environment, and so the child doesn't feel controlled, and they have that. choice to go outside and do math or be with the animals and learn language. It's not done. And I really think, especially our children on the spectrum who have been diagnosed, who have, challenging behaviors, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally. I think having this avenue is going to be life changing. Um, Definitely.
Wow. And so, what would one family need to do to be able to have your services?
We'll reach out, on our email. I'm starting a Facebook, to send a message if you need help. What are some of the things that you're going through? And, I can reach out to you if you're close enough. I would be able to get to you if I can. It really just comes down to, it's baby steps in any regard, because it's really hard for a parent to admit that they need help. So I just want them to know it's a safe space and no one's being judged, and it's not about, if they did something wrong in the past. I really want them to understand, you need to live in the moment so your children can live in the moment. And um and that's kind of what TK My Way is all about, to motivate youth. And when you do choose to make that choice, and help your child by helping yourself, and it really does change so much within the family dynamic.
Yes, I would like to say, and you can please correct me if I'm wrong. I feel that if you can start now with these baby steps, you'll have a better outcome. Because imagine if you ignore this or just ride that that roughness on your own. I think it gets harder the older you get, doesn't it?
Oh, completely. That's why early intervention is key. I would actually love to go into the daycares, because there's not specific daycares for kids with special needs, because you don't know if your child does have special needs or not.
Mhm, mhm.
So if I were to be able to go, into the daycares to see, just the kids, and see those certain signs, maybe it starts with anxiety, maybe it starts with, maybe they don't know how to socialize with other children. So I think starting young is best, and also you can get to the parents a lot sooner. So that way, you can take them to that through that process, and then they can see the progress. Because starting early, and then, I mean, I have so many clients that I look back and I'm just like, I can't believe it's the same child, but it comes down to the parents. And if there's consistency, then there's growth. So that's
Exactly.
definitely.
Oh, but it's never too late too, right? So
No,
regardless,
not at
right?
all. I
Yeah,
have even older clients who are about 21, 22, and the parents have come to me and they're like, we've done everything, we've been everywhere. We went to speech therapy, we went to this, we went to that, and the same thing is, continuing, because everybody has a different approach. So I approach things a little bit differently than probably most, but I think that's what is, bringing my success. And when it comes down to really teaching the parents to follow through, because I'm not going to be there forever,
mhm.
and they take on, but it's teaching the parents to teach their kids is the main thing that TK My Way is expressing.
And did you do this because, like you said you had ADHD, right? Is this what's driving you, or is it
No,
something
I didn't
else?
know I had ADHD until it started like popping up, and I'm just like, I do that. I do that. Okay, but I didn't need a diagnosis to really to come up with this, because when I started working in the schools with the severe special needs, they were in wheelchairs. A lot of them were G-tube fed. They weren't getting any speech services because they didn't qualify even under the public school system, which I thought was wrong. I didn't understand it. And so that's kind of what pushed me into becoming a speech therapist, and then furthering my education and getting my master's in ABA, because speech is a behavior. So when you look at it in that way, um, you know, anybody can use the tools that I teach, to help with any behavior, whether it be a child or an
I
adult.
need more of that. I'm being funny, just trying to make it light. um, wow. Okay. So again, our goal here is to bring awareness for TK My Way, and that's unlocking potential in every child, right? But like she just said, it doesn't have to be a child. But we want to get the word out there. We want people to know that there is something out there, a resource that's out there that can help you. It's a nonprofit. There's no red tape. The resources are there. Resources are there. We just got to get it out there. So whether you need the help, you think someone may benefit from this, please share this so that we can get this out there because, it's just so sad to hear people struggle and they let themselves struggle, right, with this thing, with their whatever struggles that they're having instead of trying to get help. So please don't be embarrassed, don't be ashamed, just ask her for information. I'm sure we can get your email or your Facebook out there, right? Like just ask her. She'll be willing to answer any questions to see if she could help you, if you need the help, because I'm sure you can guide them too, right? If it's something that you can't or you don't think it's right for them, but you can definitely, the field that you're in, you can definitely refer them to somewhere else, right?
Oh, absolutely. I work for many companies that, you know, can get to that next step through the regional center if they want to go that route, or to find a private school or to work on IEPs and things like that. I definitely collaborate a lot with different people within the field.
I love that. So, is there anything else you would like us to know before we end this?
Just definitely, I would encourage you to um, help us get to where we need to be. And I really hope that everybody sees the vision that I'm thinking about. And I know, like I said, it starts with baby steps. So even just getting us to the first step is really going to help to get us to our end goal.
Remember, sharing is caring.